Hello and welcome back to Buckle Up. I'm Harry King and this is the Ssangyong Musso, a multi-award winning pickup truck. So let's see if it's any good. Right, so we'll start at the front as usual. Let's go with the grille first because it's quite noticeable. You've got this large, really bluff grille. This is a facelift model, and this really makes this stand out. There's no other trucks on the road that look like this at the front, and it's got this kind of carbon fibre effect on it, which is, well, it depends what you like. And also on this one, it's got a sort of blacked out badge, so it's quite cool and menacing. You can see the front bumper here is incredibly square, which is an interesting choice, I think, for a pickup truck, because obviously off-road vehicle, four-wheel drive, farmers use pickup trucks, builders use pickup trucks, they're in situations where you're not on tarmac. You want your approach angle to be as good as possible and for things to not catch, and I just don't know if that's the most efficient way of designing the front of this vehicle. You also get these rather lovely headlights with daytime running lights and a big stack of lights down here as well for the indicators, and overall it makes quite a cohesive, well put together face. That's certainly a great improvement on some historical Ssangyong models. And then moving down the side, I'll start here, you get this interesting concave shape above the wheel arches to kind of emphasize and chunkify the styling, because as it is a pickup truck, it's an off-road vehicle. Generally that's what people want from this kind of car. You'll see down here, this is a Saracen. So this is like, I'll try and explain the range, I guess. There's 4 trim levels, but one of the trim levels, Rhino, is actually a different bed length. It's the long wheelbase version. So this is the top spec short wheelbase version, if that makes sense. But this is the nice one. This is the one you would buy if you wanted to maybe get a company car and not pay as much benefit in kind. Not that anybody does that, of course. You also get these nice silver running boards. They're good for climbing in and out of the vehicle, though I do find there's not quite enough rubber on the top. They're a little bit slippy in wet conditions. Here, you get a very, very sharp cut-off at the back of the cabin, and some people have even remarked that this almost looks more like an SUV with the back cut off than a sort of normal pickup truck, which is because it is. So under here, the chassis, the engine, the gearbox, all of that kind of thing is shared with the Ssangyong Rexton, and then they just chop the body here and put a bed on and extend the chassis obviously a little bit to make the Musso. So that's why you get this kind of, it's actually quite tall, it's a taller proportion, and you get this high side on the bed as well, is because of that shared platform underneath. In here you get your diesel and your AdBlue, so that's not any faffy place to have to find to put the AdBlue in. You've got nice big bars around the top here, and then you've got some other stuff around the back, where in classic pickup truck fashion you get the name of the model written out in large metallic letters. You also get your Ssangyong branding badge and your 4x4 badge. You also get a lovely reversing camera. Shout out to this reversing camera. It's literally the most clear and best reversing camera I've ever used on a car, ever. Down here you also get your tow bar. This is good because the Ssangyong is capable of towing a full 3.5 tons, and it comes with a Euro style 13-pin socket. Now, moving into the bed of the truck, just unlock it, you will notice this is not damped, this just falls down under its own power, unlike the Isuzu. And then this particular model is fitted with a roll-top cover, but that's pretty simple to operate. So I'll just let that back. There we go. Now I'm going to sit up on the bed here, and I'm going to tell you pickup truck facts. So, all the pickup truck facts, we'll start with, so this is the short wheelbase version, this is the small bed. You can't get the Ssangyong as anything other than a crew cab, so this is kind of it, this and the long bed version. The load length in this is 1,300 millimeters by 1,570 millimeters, so it is big enough for a Euro pallet. In the long wheelbase version, that increases to 1,610 millimeters, so an extra foot of bed length, which is quite good. That's a 1.6 meter bed in a quad cab pickup truck in this country is quite good, but obviously it'd be nice if you could have the long bed with a shorter cab style. The standard version of this truck will take over a ton in the bed, but if you want maximum payload, again, it's the Rhino that you're going to want to go for, as that can take 1,140 kilograms in the bed. As a manual, this is capable of towing 3.2 tons, and as an automatic, which this one is, it's capable of towing the full 3.5 tons, which is kind of what's limited by current driving license laws. Importantly, this is the only pickup truck currently available where you can tow 3.5 tons and carry a maximum payload in the bed at the same time, which is quite impressive. If you want to go camping with a caravan and all of your gear, this is ideal. It's a really good tow vehicle. So if you want to do all the maths, that means the gross vehicle train weight is 6,750 kilograms, which is a lot. And you can now drive that on a standard license. Have fun, guys. So guys, just quickly, some other features in the bed itself. You've got tie-down hooks all around the bed, but otherwise you don't get anything like you get in the Ford Ranger. There doesn't seem to be any power outlets that I've found. And also, if I come out here and shut this, you'll notice there's no step in the rear bumper. So if you want to climb into the bed, you've got to hope you've got this tow bar fitted. But even then, you'd have to be quite brave to try and get up into the bed on that tow bar. I certainly wouldn't want to do it in these wellies. Should we go look at the back seats? First things first, behind my own driving position, it is a bit tight on the knee room. Now, I have this seat set basically all the way back, so behind most drivers, there will be enough space for adults back here. As usual in a pickup truck, you're in quite an upright seating position. Not uncomfortable though. And obviously you've got plenty of headroom, plenty of width to the cabin as well. It's just this driver's seat that's a little uncomfortable. There are a couple of things I want to mention in here. Number one, luxury item. Here on the doors, you've got heated seats. You've got two big air vents. You've got nice big seat back pockets. You've got nice big door bins with bottle holders in them. You also have this lovely center armrest. It's a really good height. It's got cup holders in it. So lots of really good stuff back here for the rear passengers. Something that's less good, this middle seat belt is a lap belt that you tighten yourself. It's not even inertia reel. I wasn't even aware that these were still allowed, but I guess they are. But yeah, if you've got 3 kids you want to put in the back, maybe this isn't the pickup truck to get. If you've just got 2, obviously these are full 3-point harnesses. You do have ISOFIX in here as well, so your child seats are good. It's just, yeah, I don't know, this feels weird. This feels like not something you'd find in the car in the 21st century. I don't know. Other features of the back seats. I have to actually get out to demonstrate this. So I climb back down. Nice and soft, by the way, good materials, perforated leather, really, really nice, luxurious. And then you've got this little handle, and the back seats fold down like this. And then you've got this large space where if you need interior storage and you've only got people in the front, you can put things in here. This is also where you'll find your tyre iron and your jack and your tyre goo and all of that stuff. Unlike some other pickup trucks though, the seat bases don't fold up. This is it. So if you want the back seats to turn into storage, this is what you're getting. There is plenty of room here, I'll be honest, but it does feel like a wasted opportunity to not have the seat bases flip up. All in all though, back here, it's really, really rather luxurious considering that this is a pickup truck, because I'd be happy with this kind of interior in the back of a family SUV, minus this middle seat belt, of course. But let's see what it's like in the front, which I must say is lovely. So as part of the platform share with the Rexton, the Musso basically gets the Rexton's interior. So you've got leather here on the dashboard and then soft touch everywhere. Lovely steering wheel, massive infotainment. As far as interiors go, I think this is the nicest pickup truck on the market. So if you're looking for a family vehicle or a nice, luxurious, more luxurious vehicle, but you want the bed or the towing capacity, this is definitely the place to be. The seats themselves are lovely. It's just like the back. You've got this perforated leather. It's super soft, super comfortable, lots of adjustment, fully electric, driver and passenger, and heated and cooled, both 3-stage. Everything. It's got everything. It's got a heated steering wheel as well. if I just turn on the ignition. So in terms of technology, you've got this really lovely, large and responsive screen. It's got sat-nav built into it, but also obviously it's capable of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. There's not really a proper home screen. It's my only complaint about it. You get this kind of half map, half thing, but then if you want to change into Android Auto, you've got to go into modes and then scroll over one page and then you've got Android Auto, which is a bit awkward. But once you're in Android Auto, obviously that works seamlessly. You do have a full suite of climate controls below the screen. They're not integrated into the screen, so that's nice. You don't have to go into any sub-menus to find them. And then all the way down here, you've got a 12-volt, 120-watt power outlet, 2 USBs, including the one for the Android Auto, and also an old-fashioned cigarette lighter. You don't see them very often, do you? Rear lap belt and a cigarette lighter. I think this car's having a crisis of what year it is. Down here you have a nice, chunky, automatic shift lever. I like this. It's sort of old-fashioned and fits in with the whole truck thing, because you also have a proper handbrake. Practicality in here. You've got 2 cup holders here in the centre. You've also got 2 bottle holders in the doors, but basically one's if you want to put it in upright and one's if you want to put it in diagonally, and you can't use both at the same time, if that makes sense. You've got a little tray up here on the dashboard, and you've got a large damped glove box. But actually, other than that, there's not any kind of hidden sneaky storage like you get in a lot of other commercial vehicles. There is a really nice and big bin in here. Full bottle of water in there, put it away. And then you've got your 4-wheel drive system, and it is just a 4-wheel drive system. There's no hill descent control, there's no terrain response, there's just 2 high, 4 low, and then you've got a drive mode switch, which includes snow. That's it. You don't expect to find a level of fit and finish like this in a pickup truck. You expect it to be robust, but fit for purpose. This is all just a bit more sumptuous, luxurious. It's quite nice in here, actually. But let's see if it's quite nice to drive. Okay, so driving the Ssangyong Musso. Let's start with a little bit of off-roading. Hopefully I'm not stuck. No. So let's go with... There's no hill descent control, so let's start by going down this steep bank. And I'll pop it into low range mode. If you let that engage. There we go. Put it into manual. Ooh. So that should just now creep down the hill gently. Yep. This is very exciting, of course, watching a car slowly creep down a hill at 3 miles an hour. But it is quite impressive, especially this is just on sort of all-season, slightly SUV-y tyres there, Pirelli Scorpion Zeros. No aggressive tread or anything, but it's still making easy work of going down the hill. Of course, we'll have to see how it does coming back up. Right, so we'll now attempt to go back up the hill, which I'm hoping it does without problem. But what I'm just going to do about here-ish is I'll come to a stop here, and let's see if it can get started on a hill like this. So one, I'll take my foot off the brake. I'm still... Oh, no, it is moving backwards. Right. Yeah, I am losing traction there. I'll just try... If I just turn traction control off, and I'll put it into snow mode, winter mode. We'll see if that... No. We have broken 20 miles an hour though, so the doors have locked, which is nice. So I should be able to get going now, slightly diagonally. Oh, it did not like that. Interesting. Okay. Bit more momentum. Oh, come on. Come on. Back to the bottom of the hill then. Right, so I think what we've proved there is that road tyres do not do well on wet mud up a hill, even if you've got a proper, robust four-wheel drive system. However, momentum is our friend, so let's go with a bit of momentum. Oh, stop it. That's more like it. Here's the point where we got stuck last time. Up we go. There we go. Back at the top of the field. I think what we'll do now is go and drive it on the road and see how it does there.
It's quite covered in mud.
Traction control won't turn back on.
Oh no.
Well, I think that's quite a good example of it not really being fit for purpose. It can't spin its wheels in the mud.
Have you tried turning the engine off and on?
Yep. It's that little symbol down there, and that's it off.
Is it a breakable thing? It shouldn't be a breakable.
No, it's a computer system. So it shouldn't have broken mechanically.
No.
I'll just take it easy, I guess. Right, so out on the open road in the Musso, it immediately feels a little bit more at home here than it did on the field, though I think a lot of that is down to the tyres. So we'll start off with the ride. Oddly, for a pickup truck, in the back of this you have coil springs, which in my mind should make it the best riding pickup truck there is out there, because you've got more advanced suspension. Effectively, most pickup trucks have leaf springs at the back, and yet for some reason, specifically the rear axle doesn't seem to ride very well, and that's within the context of the pickups currently on the market. It feels like it's very stiffly sprung, but then the bushings between the chassis and the body seem to be quite flexible, so you get this kind of judder through the body when the suspension crashes. It's just slightly jarring, and it's a shame because everything else in the cabin, the engine, the gearbox, it's all very refined. The NVH was actually tuned for Ssangyong by Pininfarina, and everything else about the cabin's really nice. It's really luxurious. The steering itself is quite good. The wheel weights up nicely in the corners. Obviously it's not terribly direct, it's an electronic system, and this is a pickup truck, so in the normal driving mode, eco, it's nice and light, you just move it around however you want. In the power mode, it weights up a bit more, gives you a bit more feedback, but it's exactly what you want in a car like this. The gearbox, it's a 6-speed unit, it shifts smoothly, it operates very well under load, especially if you're towing something. The visibility is excellent. You've got a really large glass house, and it's very upright as well. Big mirrors. The reversing camera is excellent, so obviously you do have a blind spot behind because of the bed, but the camera deals with that. However, I have found that when driving at night, the angle of the infotainment screen and the angle of the rear window means you get a reflection of your infotainment screen coming back at you in the rear view mirror, and you can't really see what's behind you. All you can see is this floating ghost of an infotainment screen, which is a little bit off-putting. Obviously you could lower the brightness on the infotainment screen, that would help with that, and also this is tinted glass, which again makes it more likely to reflect. And with that being said, you don't actually use the rear view mirror in a pickup truck as much as you use the side mirrors, in the same way you would in a van. The engine itself is nice and responsive. It's a 2.2 litre diesel unit with 202 PS, only really bested by the Ranger. Oh, right, and it means that this truck really will get moving if you put your foot down. I don't have traction control. Can't do that. Try that again. And it means this truck really will get moving when you put your foot down. Though, of course, you've got to be mindful that as there's no weight over the rear, you will quite quickly lose traction. Basically, the experience in here is just, well, it's like an SUV, that's the thing. Other than the rear suspension, the NVH is good, there's not a lot of noise in the cabin, it's got a nice sound system, it's got the good infotainment, soft touch everywhere, super plush seats. honestly, for a pickup truck, this is about as luxurious as it gets. So if you want to tow, or if you want a family car, but you also, I don't know, ride a quad bike or do jet skiing or something else you'd want an open pickup bed for, this is a great choice. This is a great vehicle. I'm worried about the level of plushness in here being compatible with a working vehicle. I feel like it's got rubber floor mats, that's a good start, but then everything else feels like it would get tarnished, damaged, smudged, whatever, quite easily if you dragging through mud, manure, cement, etc, etc. It definitely feels more like a family or recreational vehicle to me than a full-on work truck. The other part of that, there is only one part of this cabin where I can find properly cheap plastic, and weirdly it's on the door pulls. So all the rest of the plastics in the cabin, they're really nice, really robust, feel solid, but then the door pull, which if you know a farmer or a builder or someone, they're not hanging about, they've got stuff to do, they're not going to go easy on that, and I'd be concerned about the longevity of those door handles. Speaking of longevity though, this does come with a 7-year and 150,000 mile warranty. So if you were going to buy this as a work vehicle, you do have the reassurance of that warranty behind you. No other truck is offered with a warranty as long as that, or with as many miles as that. It speaks to how confident Ssangyong are in their product. So you've got that on your side, but yeah, I think this is definitely aimed more at the family / private buyer than the fleet / business owner. The engine's good and powerful. Do suffer a little bit on the economy for that. I'm only getting just over 20 mpg, which is what I've been doing sort of generally all week. That has been more urban driving than extra urban, it's worth saying, but that's quite low. If you were in an equivalently powered SUV, you'd probably be getting better fuel economy than that. Right then, I think I've nattered on enough, so let's go back and do a conclusion. Oh, my traction's come back.
Oh.
Interesting.
Good.
Maybe it was after I spun the wheels it turned back on. That's weird. That's so weird. Okay, so the Ssangyong Musso. Great family vehicle, great towing vehicle, great value for money, decent off-road capability, but just because of the spec, because of the way it's quad cab only, the interior trim, I don't think it's a proper rough and tumble working pickup truck. It's a nice vehicle that you can have with your family, but if you're looking for a work truck, I'd go look at some of the other options. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. You'll find all of our social medias down in the description, and you'll also find our merch store where you can buy merchandise, our Patreon, and our channel membership. So go do one or all of those things, and we'll see you next time. Bye.